Well, welcome back to the Ropes Family Podcast. We're on episode 59. I'm here with Courtney. We're talking about VBS. We're talking about the third day of VBS. So, Courtney, what is the theme of day 3 of VBS?
Day 3 is when we need hope, we can trust Jesus.
I like it. Because Jesus is our hope. In Christ alone, our hope is found. That's a song. It's a good song.
It's a good song.
So what is the overarching theme? How are we supporting when we need hope, we can trust Jesus?
With the Bible verse and everything?
Yeah.
The Bible verse of that day, and his name will be the hope of all, and his name will be the hope of all the world. Matthew 12:21. And then the Bible story is when Jesus dies and comes back to life.
So throughout the whole, like the whole saga, like that, there's a lot that goes in there, starting from like the Lord's Supper all the way to, or the Last Supper all the way to like Peter's denial, Judas doing what Judas does, on both things.
Oh yeah.
That aren't really podcast. I mean, he betrays Jesus and then he goes and unalives himself, and then all that happens between. It's like this. It's this massive story that within the Gospels that takes place, like it's all recorded, but it's a big couple chapters, but all of this takes place very fast, and sometimes when we read the Bible a chapter a day, it seems like it takes a long time, but all this is unfolding very quickly, which is neat. I don't know why I needed to bring that up, but yeah,
It's true.
in his name, we can have hope because of Jesus came and did what he said he was going to do. He died and then he rose again 3 days later.
That's true. So,
Amen, sister. End of the podcast.
Yeah, we're done. So this day is important because, you remember being a kid, right? And you had all these like big hopes and dreams. And
Yeah.
I was going to be the tea lady at Furs.
The what?
Tea lady at Furs.
So you were going to like...
She would walk around. You're not from Lubbock. Okay.
We had a Furs in Carlsbad.
Yeah, but you didn't have the tea lady with the beehive hair. You did not have her. Anyway, she had this huge hair. I mean, like huge hair.
Oh, wow.
She'd walk away with her, walk around with her tea cart and serve you tea and water. I was going to be her.
You were going to be the tea lady.
That was my huge aspiration.
I guess your hair today is kind of like that.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't see it on the podcast.
Thank goodness, because
it's
it's
pretty
really
high.
bad
It's
today.
pretty high up there.
It's good stuff. But I wanted to be her. And then I wanted to work for NASA.
Okay. Did you want to be the tea lady at NASA?
No, I wanted to be the one who says 3, 2, 1, lift off.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I wanted to follow them when they were going up and then follow them as they were in space.
Wow.
It had a name, and I'm like second grade. I knew what it was. Now I don't. Then I want to be a forensic pathologist.
Okay. So they just, your plans kind of change, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a few careers that I wanted that I still kind of want to do. I told Allison, I think I told you this the other day, is I wanted to be a NASCAR driver when I was...
He has big plans for this. Carla, remember?
Yeah. I wanted to be a NASCAR driver when I was growing up, like getting my driver's license and stuff. But before that, I wanted to be a cop, but I know why. It's because I wanted to drive cars fast. I was like, I want to be a cop because I can just drive fast.
Yeah.
Drive cars fast.
It's a good idea.
And then that quickly was like, that's not all you do. You don't get to drive cars fast. So NASCAR was that, and then Rockstar was in there too.
Rockstar.
So for in kindergarten, we had to like trace out our bodies on this big piece of paper, and then turn ourselves into what we wanted to be. And I was a rock star for that. So musician, I guess. So that's kind of half my job. I kind of get to do that. I don't get to drive
He's
fast.
the FBC Ropes rock star. Just start calling him that.
Anyway, but yeah, I wanted to do all those things, and I still kind of want to be a NASCAR driver. And I figured out that it's a little easier than I thought. You just got to figure out how to get a car and go show up there, and they'll basically let you.
Our podcast can sponsor you.
Ropes Family Podcast sponsoring.
And I'm not sure how much that would.
It's like $100,000 to get in. So I need a little bit of money and a little bit in like a car and like a team.
Wow.
But it's easier than I thought. I thought you just had to like be born into NASCAR. So if you're wanting to sponsor me driving a race car that I've never driven before.
I don't think his wife approves.
I told her, I was like, hey, this is a little easier. And she says, you can't do it. She's crushing my dream.
Hey, we're about to talk about that.
Crushing my dreams.
And then the real world hits.
Yeah.
And your wife says no.
Yeah, the real world hits, and so you can't drive fast. You shouldn't drive fast because, I probably could do it. I win at every racing game. Mario Kart, undefeatable. Well, actually,
You
Elliot's
and Ben need to go against each other on Mario Kart.
Elliot's beat me a few times, I guess.
oh.
But it's because he gives me the dumb controller, and I can't.
The one that like glitches.
Yeah. I have to take that one, and then car games. I've always been good at car games, so I figured I could be good in real life cars. But back to what you're saying. The real world hit. So the real world hit you.
Yeah.
When you wanted to be.
I realized I wasn't smart enough to. Well, I could be the tea lady, but I wasn't smart enough to work for NASA or be a forensic pathologist. So I was either going to have to, become smarter. I don't know how I would do that.
You just
I'm only born with so much brain. It's
I guess
all being used. Or I was going to change my plans. And so as a kid, you also don't really realize that most kids live pretty carefree and happy. Most. I said most.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that bad stuff's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so when it does, like the book, the Bible curriculum for VBS was saying, a family member dies or parents get divorced or they're forced to move or they lose a friend, at school. Or maybe they just see the news.
Yeah.
The news is scary if you actually watch it, which I have no idea what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
So,
It's a good call.
but it's nice for kids to go ahead and learn early. Jesus is our only hope.
Yeah.
If we put our faith in anything else or our hope in anything else, we will be disappointed. We will be scared, all of those things, because the world is going to change. It's going to hurt us. It's going to be terrible, honestly, but not if we have Jesus.
Yeah, and I think that is a good point. Like our kids, the way our kids view us, the older they get and the older we get, the more they realize we don't have any idea what's going on.
Yeah.
We're winging it just like they are.
True.
And I think like when we say, yes, I'm going to fall short in my goal as a dad, but my hope is Jesus and my goal is to be like Jesus. And that's the only thing that I need to model to my kids is how to be like Jesus. And I'm not going to do that perfectly. And there's grace for that. And showing and teaching them that is a great thing. And also when life hits them, when life hits us, we need to model that for our kids that, Jesus is still in control, even though our life is seems like it's in chaos. It doesn't go the way we want it to go, but God works all things together for those who love him. That's Romans 8:1 or Romans 8:18, one of those two. It's in Romans 8.
Look in Romans 8.
Read the whole chapter. It's great. Romans 8 is actually a really good chapter. But I agree. Life is full of curveballs, and we got to learn how to roll with the punches and how to hit curveballs sometimes. And Jesus is our hope, and He can handle those things.
And the one thing that day points out is God's Son offers a truly hopeful future, one that lasts into eternity and is full of joy and promise. So that's like one of the big themes. They say it several times that day. And then
full of joy and promise. So I think we talked about this on the joy episode a couple months ago, is joy doesn't necessarily mean happiness.
No.
Joy means contentment. And joy, God's Son offers a truly hopeful future. Doesn't mean that God promises us to not go through struggles. He promises to be with us in those struggles. And that's the joy that we can find. That's the joy that we can place our hope in, is those things.
And I think sometimes we get focused on, if these things, if God offers us a truly hopeful future, we get focused on, then I'm going to be, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be whatever. So I think what you're saying,
NASCAR driver.
I'm going to be a forensic pathologist. I mean, those are all great, but that's not what he's saying here.
Yeah.
We have hope because of him. We have heaven. But that doesn't mean everything's going to be hunky-dory all the time.
Yeah. And I think that it goes back to the passage we talked about last week about, being anxious, about the things in the world that we worry about, what we'll eat, what we will wear, right? But Jesus says to seek first his kingdom, right? And it goes back to the same thing, is seek first his kingdom because he's the only hope. He's the only thing that Jesus and his kingdom are the only thing that are coming for sure, right? And that we can trust in that and place our hope in that, because I'm probably not going to be a NASCAR driver. I might. Somebody.
You might.
Hey, I'm available. Let me come crash a car, please. I would love to go really fast.
Allison, I'm sorry.
And they're really safe. Okay, we could.
Dale Earnhardt died.
Yeah, but that was 20 years ago.
I don't care. He still died. I saw it.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't there.
Sorry, so I didn't. I was like, wow.
I've been to a lot of NASCAR races, but I have not. I was
They
not
go
there
really
that day.
fast. I want to go so bad. But
Hey, John Deere doesn't have a driver right now.
hey, call him.
Me, call John Deere. Okay.
Ben, whoever.
Yeah, Ben doesn't know either.
Somebody. Chris, somebody call John Deere. Tell him, put me in, coach. I'll be there. I'll drive however you want me to.
Goodness.
I learned how to draft from Cletus McFarland.
Please say Mario Kart
Mario Kart.
in your interview.
Yeah. I learned
draft
everything I
Mario
learned everything I know from Mario Kart.
So hire me.
Actually, Need for Speed. I played Need for Speed back in the day. Back to off on a tangent. My fault. Sorry.
Okay, so then I kind of went rogue on my own notes here.
I like it.
Because I was thinking, Jesus tells us that he's going to overcome the world, but what's before that in that chapter? And he's literally telling the disciples, like, it's not going to be great. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some really tough stuff coming, but there'll be hardships, there'll be turmoil. But he ends the chapter with, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world.
Yeah.
So there's their hope. Even when the disciples had some pretty terrible deaths.
Yeah.
And really bad stuff happened to them. Mm-hmm. But in the back of their minds, that was always there.
Yeah.
Jesus overcame the world.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything compared to what they went through. But sometimes I just get overwhelmed, which my kids make fun of me for. But and I'm like, no. Come back, refocus. Jesus is in control, all of that. And so I think that's a really good chapter.
Yeah, I think and it's pivotal in the story of Jesus, right? Because he's like, hey, these are all the things that we've gone through now, but it's not over.
No.
And you're about to see something wild.
Yeah.
Like, I've told you that I'm going to die and come back, but you don't understand what that means necessarily. You're thinking, everybody's going to resurrect in the end, right? Because the Jews believed that everybody was going to come back and there's a resurrection at the end. So of course you're going to die and come back. Everybody's going to, but they didn't understand that Jesus was, in a week from now, this is about to be happening, and.
Well, I read a commentary that said they didn't realize how, terrible his death would be either. Mm-hmm. They were thinking death, I
was just going to die.
Just die.
Yeah. Like die of old age. Of course he's the son of, he's going to die.
He's going to die.
A very dignified death is what they're thinking, and he's supposed to come and build an army and build a kingdom on earth, right? Which he does. It's just not in the way that they were, they thought, and that's a lot of the reason why they were rejected he was rejected by the Pharisees, because he didn't fit the bill that they had built in their mind. Mm-hmm. But looking at it, he did all the things that he was going to do. He did, and it's still building. The kingdom is still building. I don't remember how we got on those, but take heart because he's overcome the world.
Right.
Jesus overcame death. He overcame the thing that we all face in this world is death. And Jesus overcome that, and so we can have hope because we will resurrect again with him. Once we believe, we will die to ourselves. We'll have it, and then we'll be raised to life, to live like Christ, to do all the things that he's commanded us to do, the things that he's created us to do.
And one thing this Bible Day does really well is it gets the kids involved. They ask the kids, the teachers will say, imagine being one of Jesus' disciples. Imagine being there and hearing, him talk about, he's going to be crucified, blah, blah, and then actually seeing it. Mm-hmm. And that's your best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw your best friend, teacher, leader, friend, all of the things, beaten, killed, put in a tomb, and a giant rock rolled in front. Mm-hmm. Do you have any hope at that point? I mean, probably not.
I mean, the disciples hid after this happened, right?
Right. And so it really involves the kids in thinking and asking them questions, and it asks them to talk about it with each other. And I think that's going to be cool to see. Yeah.
And I think with Peter, Jesus says, hey, you're going to deny me 3 times while all this is happening.
And then he made eye contact with him.
Yeah.
And I can't get over that.
And then then it happened. And he's like, hey, look, check this out. I'm being beaten. Jesus being like, hey, you remember what I said? And then it happens. And which disciple would we be most like? I don't want to die. I don't want to get this. I'm seeing Jesus go through this right now. Do I want to do that? No, I'm going to say I'm not associated with that, And that was a lack of faith on Peter's part, but it's an example to show like what, that's a real human response. But Jesus redeemed that in the end, after resurrection, Jesus redeemed that. And it's such a beautiful story, that how Jesus still pursues us in our brokenness and in our afraid and in the things that when we are overcome by the things of the world, that Jesus still pursues us and comes after us and will redeem those things and show us that he's the only hope.
When we've lost hope, he is there, showing us he is the hope. When
we've lost hope, we haven't lost him.
It's good. Oh, that's a good points there.
So what is the fun day for VBS that day?
So we're wearing our VBS shirts.
Okay.
They are green.
Hey.
I know everything we own is green, but it's not the same color as Rope's green. Make sure to register before May 22nd because we have to have time to print them with the holiday being there. In crafts, we're going to make a Northern Lights craft. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then a Northern Lights experiment and imagination station. And they're getting some cool little, I don't want to say what it is, but this cool little thing that reacts to their body heat and changes colors. It's really cool.
Okay.
And then the Bible buddy is Ernest the bald eagle.
Ernest the eagle.
He's cute. He's a cute little eagle.
Yeah.
I'm sure y'all care. But as of now,
Emerson and Elliot will be like, whoa.
The characters this time are super cute. But
back to last week, my sister pointed out that the crab is named Claudia. We have an aunt named Claudia, and her maiden name was Claudia Crab, which is hilarious. Claudia, if you're listening to this, hi. I haven't talked to you in a while.
Do you spell your name CLAW?
No, not like Claudia.
That's too bad.
Yeah, but yeah, she's like, we have an aunt named Claudia. That's funny.
That's amazing.
Crab is my last name. If you guys didn't know, Claudia Crab, Josh Crab. That's my name.
And if you ask Allie, it's 2 B's, not one like the animal.
Yeah, it's
so
2
she
B's.
tells me all
or
the time.
double B. Yeah,
I know how to spell it, but
I don't know where that came from. We're on a tangent.
Yeah,
I don't know where that came from, but
back.
Sorry.
We have 77 kids registered right now.
Wow.
We have room for 120.
Wow.
Well, we have stuff for 120. Room, it's fine. And then we have 33 volunteers.
Wow. So what is that? 110?
It's a lot of people.
I don't know.
I don't do math.
Wait.
7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8,
yeah,
9, 10,
110.
11. Good math.
Yeah,
Your math is mathing. It's because you're in math.
I'm supposed to finish my math class this week. We'll see how I do. Whatever. No, whatever. I'm going to finish it this week.
He's going to ace it this week.
Nope, can't ace it. Even if I ace the exam, I can't ace it. But
he's going to
I'm going to beat it. I'm going to get a B.
B.
That's my goal, is to get a B.
More than I did. Anyway,
sorry.
But I'm really excited because I think right now I know right now we're focused on decorations and trying to figure out what we're going to put in the hallway. And I think I'm going to give each group their own little name. Like the kindergartners will have like little bears or whatever it is. And I think that's it for VBS.
How many groups are there?
Right now there's kinder, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. There's 4 groups.
4 groups.
But it may have to be changed because in first and second we have 32 kids signed up.
Oh, yeah. So we may have to have 2 of those. That might be nice.
But we have enough volunteers for it. So we're not.
Eagle 1, Eagle 2.
Yeah. Because there's 4 little characters. No, there's 5 characters.
Yeah.
There's
Each one could be a Bible character.
That's a good idea.
We're just doing 3 days though, but whatever.
But the little people can be, little
yeah.
groups can be after the characters.
Yeah. Okay, look at that.
Even better.
Look at
Just
there.
solved a problem on the podcast.
Live and in person.
Love it.
On the podcast. Got anything else?
I don't think so.
Do we need any more help at all, or are we good? Unless we add that other group, or do we need help?
I really think we have enough volunteers.
That's a lot of volunteers. 33 is good. That's incredible.
People in this church have stepped up.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
They're giving their time for 3 hours a night.
Yeah.
3 days. That's a lot of time.
Yeah, and then VBS is wild, and
you're tired.
Yeah, but you definitely it is kingdom work, and I think we're participating in the kingdom when we do those things.
It's fun though.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I'm looking forward to it. My kids are looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. And that's all we got this week. We will. I think that's all the VBS episodes we're going to talk about. And I don't know. We are going to be sparse through the summer. We may only do one episode a month over the summer. So be on the lookout for those episodes. We're just going to catch you up on all the things that we talked about. So if this is the last episode in May, then we will talk to y'all in June. We'll see y'all later. Peace.